Welcome back, friends. I'm not muted. We're doing this. It's actually happening. This is Omni X-Men. I have to start off with a quick apology. I know a lot of people were worried that tonight wouldn't happen, that there was going to be stuff, that I had to make amends. Everything is good now. Justin's backstage. It's all happening. I bought a copy of Rain, so we're good. He's willing to speak to me again. He's willing to do. He won't promise about next week because apparently I have to read the issue. I don't know anything about that. So apparently next week is still a question mark. But at least he's speaking to me again because I did buy the issue.
You bought it. You're one step closer, John. You're one step closer. The Omni Rain Men.
There's steps, right? This is phase 3. I actually got the issue.
That's right.
Now it's got to sit in the reading pile.
At least 2 weeks, John. Hold off at least 2 weeks.
I'm just glad they're talking to me again. We've achieved status quo.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for letting me cut the backstage line there a little bit. That was nice of you. Used to, but yeah. I'm pumped for this, man. I am so pumped for this. And I know you got some surprises ahead. I don't know what it is, but definitely excited to break this.
It's a great issue. And those who don't know, we are the Omni X-Men. Each week we're breaking down a different issue of X-Men, Uncanny X-Men Claremont run from our Omnis. And dang, we're in the midst of Days of Future Past. So here we are finishing it off with issue 142, the second part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we have an awesome guest, a guy that I talk to a ton on Instagram, who posts a lot of great stuff on Instagram. He's making his way into the YouTube community, popping onto shows, and we are super happy to have Darrell from Read Your Comics.
Let's hype him up. What's up, Darrell?
He's even got his swag on. Look at that hoodie. I love it.
I dig it. Yep. Yes, sir.
So if you guys are following Darrell, man, you got to get on the Instagram. You got to hook it up because the links are all down below. The guy, he's got great books, great perspectives on the hobby of collecting and reading comics. So I appreciate you making the time, man.
Oh man, this is a special one.
Yeah,
I've been telling Justin for like a year I've been wanting to be on this one.
Seriously, and I'll say too, Darrell is always dropping knowledge on like every post I do. You have some sort of extra piece that like enlightens me in some way. Like, did you know also that this was like implied to this issue? I'm like, I had no idea. Like, so just appreciate you, man. I'm glad that you're part of this tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the knowledge runs super deep. I totally agree. I was curious, like, when did you actually read these issues? Like, the first time? How long has it been since you first read them?
The first time I read this was probably in the mid '90s,
nice.
And I read it I don't know if you've seen it out. It was a trade paperback, but it was only the 2 issues. I know it had the cover. It wasn't like one of the covers of the issue.
No, it wasn't these 2. It was different. I'm trying to
remember
what it was.
Yeah, I can't. I can like kind of picture it in my head. I should have tried to pull it up.
That's fun.
But I read it then. I know I at least pulled it back out at one point around the time of the movie, and like kind of skimmed it again. I don't think I sat down and really read it again, but like I just to familiarize myself. But then building up to this, I did sit down. I read it digitally. And just so to refresh my memory on it.
Perfect.
Nice.
And I also, just for extra credit, I listened to the audio book over the weekend from Audible.
That's cool. When you said that, I had no idea. That was a thing.
I had seen it on there a few times, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead. I had 3 credits. I'm gonna go ahead and use one.
That's high pressure. That's high pressure to whoever's got to do those voices. That's a lot of work.
It's done pretty well. They change it. We could talk about it as it goes along. They do some tweaks to it, but overall, it pulls pretty much directly from it.
Nice. Well, let's say hello to some people in the chat. Some people who are hanging here are true friends. Early tailgating. We got Ruben Guzman, the White Tiger.
Ruben.
We got Sheila. Good to see you, Sheila. I appreciate you coming by. She's on the notification bell gang because she's always here when the early 30-minute warning goes off.
Nice.
We got Chris from Chaos and Comics who's been talking to me about indie trades a ton lately. Good to see you, Chris. And we got our joke of the day from Magic Lasso. What brand of potato chips do X-Men eat in the future? Lays of Future Past. There you go. There you go. John Stout, good to see you. I hope it's going well. Rain is a song by Madonna, not Diana Ross. So maybe we're evolving. I mean, there you go. Rain is by the Beatles. I mean, there you go, Jackson Roy Kirk. Good to see you.
Hey.
Mad Mike says, what's up? Good to see you, Mike. Appreciate you coming by. Still trying to figure out how much a Brazilian is. It's not cheap. I'll tell you that. You pay for that. What is up, Jennifer from Comic Books Will Break Your Heart?
Hey.
One of my favorite current reviewers on YouTube. She's amazing. If you're not following Jennifer, you're missing out. We got Chet saying, hey, Darrell, John, and Justin, 9-4, Stan, and Chris, boring blocking.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't think there's anything boring about this issue.
Nope.
Just do you, brother. Jay Hood, what's going on, Jamie?
Hey.
Good to see you. And I think that catches us up. So there you go.
Nice.
Remember to stick around at the end of the show. For those that are unfamiliar, we like to give stuff away when we finish one of these Omnis. It's sort of a celebratory moment for the two of us. So to get entered to win, you just hang out and either answer questions correctly that we trivia quiz you on from last week, or just make us laugh. Say something funny in the chat. Give us one of the funniest answers. Darrell's going to pick for tonight. Let us know what's funny, and then you get a chance to be entered to win when we start pulling those raffle tickets.
Yep.
So hello to Tacoma for jumping in. Good to see you, sir. He says, picked one of the lesser X-Men books to review today. I can feel your sarcasm through the internet. So we like to start off with a quick little round robin of what are your thoughts and grades on a CGC scale? How would you grade this issue? So Justin, obviously we're going to kick it off with you, man.
So John, I don't think that I try to be very good at like giving the highest of high grades. Sure, I give high grades generally speaking to a lot of things,
unless you're talking about Spider-Man 3.
Right? But I do feel like I still try to reserve that 9.9 white page kind of grade for just less than handful issues, and I think that this book, and maybe I'm tying it just because it's a series as a whole, but ultimately this falls into that range, that high range for me of a 9.9 white pages, which I say 9.9 because we'll get to those details, but there is one out there with this book. So a little future telling there, but so I love this series. I just love the emotion that I get from it. I mean, I think I don't want to like think of the movie, comparing to the movie or anything of that nature, but just me reading this over, this is technically my third time reading this back to back, these two issues together. And everything about it, man, the way that it even ends is just so perfectly done in that, obviously your thoughts you can think of what could happen next, and how it's not technically continued in a way as we get into some weird stuff the following issue. But so I just love that it buttons up so nicely, and there's just so much that goes on in this issue. And we'll get into the details, but high level, I love it. I love this issue. Love everything about it. These two issues together. Fantastic. I would recommend this read to anyone, whether they're into X-Men or not, to just read these two. So that's
awesome.
How I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Darrell?
Are we doing just this one issue or the two together?
I had trouble with that last week, so you do whatever way makes sense to you, for sure.
Yeah,
it's hard to. It's kind of like the Galactus trilogy. It's hard to separate the issues. I mean, this is like a solid 9.5. I mean, to get those down those 0.5s are like nitpicks, I feel like, but this is, to me, this is probably the ultimate X-Men story, even more so than the Dark Phoenix. There, I said it.
I agree totally.
I'm with you too. I think I'm with you too.
We got some other people jumping through the chat, including our man Brandon. What is going on, Brandon? Good to see you, the Comics Kings. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope things are going well. And I thought I saw where is it? Climbing Comics.
Hey.
Alan is in the chat. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it.
Alan.
And I don't actually have many X-Men shirts, so that's a flaw in my t-shirt wearing life. I do need to work on that. So I apologize to you, Chet. The truth is I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I don't have any Star Trek shirts either, so I got a lot of problems in my wardrobe that I need to work on this year. Yes, I see your guilt. There it is. So last week, to Darrell's point, I had a hard time grading last week's issue because I felt like it was the slower setup issue to this sort of action-packed payoff of this issue. And it's in that way, they go just so beautifully together, and it's very difficult to separate. But I will say this is the gravy, man. This is all the like best stuff that you just want to pour over everything. So I mentioned last week, like I could easily do 9/6, 10/0 and just call the whole thing a 9/8 and just like the whole series. This is just a phenomenal ending. And there's so many great story beats, so many shocking twists and moments. It's almost amazing that they packed it all into one issue. That's how just absolutely stellar it is.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed. Sorry, 62 Lefty Blues is here. What is going on, man?
Hey.
And Jason from Claiming Comics. Good to see you. And I think I got everybody. So there we go. Nice. That's the brief rundown. Let's dive into the slideshow and talk about a phenomenal piece of cover art here, Justin. What are your thoughts on this cover?
Yeah, so I mean, is it crazy for me to say personally that I like this cover more than 141? I know that 141's like more of the iconic cover, and we talked about that last time. And there are obvious, like I love 141. The cover is like fantastic. I just think personally this like stands out to me more, or I gravitate to this issue more and this cover more. The green, like the way it pops, and then of course like. We always talk about like, you know, if you see this on the wall, like for the first time ever, like, is this something that you're going to want to read? And especially if you're a fan of Wolverine, let's say you like got out of X-Men for a little, but you still were kind of eyeing the covers like this. This is the one cover that would pull anybody back in to say, what did they do to my man Wolverine? Yeah. So you got the Sentinel there, like just the way it's all laid out is, I think it's just perfect. So, and it just goes perfect with the issue as we get these scenes unfortunately in the issue as well, as dark as they are. So totally. Yeah, I love it.
What's up, Trailblazing? Good to see you, my man. All right, so what about you, Darrell? What do you think of this cover?
Well, I love the cover. It's definitely almost as iconic as the 141 cover, but I'm going to disagree and say I do like the 141 cover a little better. But everybody dies. Like, how can you not read that and be like, okay, is this just a
right.
Are they selling me a bill of goods?
Is it clickbait here? Clickbait, yeah.
But no, you start getting into, you're like, whoa, no, they aren't. It's really, but it's still an iconic cover. I will say, Storm always looks a little off to me, like a rag doll.
Yeah, definitely like a doll.
Already be a little unconscious or already dead, perhaps.
What's up, Scott?
You all know 32 Pages on Instagram. Yeah. In his stories a few months back, he posted an alternate cover that apparently got lost in the Canadian Post that was completely different than this. Oh. And it wasn't as good. I'll be honest, because I joked with him, and I was like, thank you, Canadian Post. We got a better cover out of it. I wish I could. It was more like looking into the room where the Sentinels are, and they were it didn't have this Wolverine being blasted away. Which
a little busier, maybe.
The striking thing, yeah, it was a little busier. It wasn't like the best burn cover, but I mean that Wolverine being blasted away. Like, how can you not like pick this up off the spinner and be like, what is going on?
Right.
With this issue?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I totally agree with both of you guys, and I think this is more, in my mind at least, a traditional Marvel get you to buy it cover versus I think 141 is a little more unusual, and it almost tells a whole story, just the cover itself, where you are like dark future, everybody's been hunted down and dead, and the spotlight's on Wolverine, and you're like, what's going to happen? This is like you said, there's a little bit of clickbaity here. It reminds me of the band in PCU that's named Everyone Gets Laid. So like, tonight, everyone gets laid. And you're like, oh, sweet, I got to get to this party. But there's like, everybody dies. And you're like, wow, Storm's being crushed like a doll. Wolverine's getting blown up. There's no way. And then to have it, of course, play out pretty much exactly like this in the issue. Yeah. Pretty phenomenal as well. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you guys. This cover, picking between the two is kind of like nobody loses in that debate, right?
Right.
Are the X-Men's the ones with the rings, Scott? I love you, man, but come on. All right, so let's dive into this first big page, and I will say I love love the splash page that you always killing it with these splash pages. Darrell, what are your thoughts on this this first jump right in? Mind Out of Time.
Great recap of the last issue. Super quick, concise, lets you know what's going on. Let's get into the action.
Mm-hmm. Justin, how you feeling?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's exactly how I'd explain it too. It's just like we left off with this action. We get the group panel, that big panel there on the right afterwards. So, and that's, as a reader, that's all we want to get right back into. So I love it. And I do like, again, like with the greens and stuff, kind of what they did with the cover, like kind of fading there at the top. I think it's an interesting choice. But yeah, nice quick recap and just jumping right back in.
And I love the way they give her this like fun white border all the way around Kitty on that splash page, and it like splits off between present on one side, future on the other.
Yep.
And then, like you're saying, Justin, I love the next page, that whole top section where they're facing off team to team before it all just goes down.
Yep.
And one of the things that they're doing all through this issue, but also this run up to now, what we've noticed is a lot of breaking out of the panels. And there you've got the finger from the senator kind of like pushing out Senator Kelly's hand, almost pointing right up at Destiny.
Yeah.
One of many times where that kind of happens. And I just, love it. Dive right back into the action, right? No time to catch your breath. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Byrne loved that trope of the hands breaking the panel.
Right.
If you'll notice, Byrne doesn't break the panel a ton, but he usually does it with a finger sticking out, pointing.
Or the three claws of Wolverine popping out. Yeah.
It's just, he does it subtly like that a lot. But.
I love it. It's such a great technique when used like that, just like with sparingly kind of used. It comes up. And in this run, I've noticed it a ton reading this with Justin like this.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the fight and see what's going on. We got Nightcrawler jumping in to fight the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in the form of Avalanche. And then we've got Colossus breaking it down with Pyro. And then we've got Storm and Wolverine deciding how to get into this. So we're right into the action here. Justin, what do you think about this? The way this Brotherhood of Evil Mutants team and this new X-Men team, they're both new teams now facing off.
So one of the things I'm always interested in with all these characters as we've been growing to read them, and me being, still very new to a lot of these newer characters that are showing up within these issues, I think they did a really great job here on showing some of the powers, just to get an understanding of like what exactly some of these villains can do. And like, for example, with Nightcrawler there, the way that he's fighting Avalanche, and then what's her name? Destiny. Yeah. She's like, using her powers to like say punch to the left, like that's where he's going to be. And like, sure enough, like Nightcrawler gets caught in the gut there. And so it's little things like that like maybe as a new reader, you wouldn't fully like try to or imagine what could they do with that kind of power. So it's just kind of a cool thing there. And then obviously like Pyro in the hand and everything like that. Really cool. Also, I like that they did those little jumps back at that first panel there with Nightcrawler. Kind of reminds me of like the current Nightwing stuff.
Oh, you mean like the first panel where he's like flipping?
Where he's flipping, yeah. The action stuff. So yeah, fun stuff. I mean, the action was awesome in this.
How about you, Darrell? What do you think of the way they're matching up here with these Brotherhood of Evil Mutants?
I'm going to agree with Jay Hood Creative there. I love this version of the Brotherhood. I love Mystique as the leader. I like Avalanche. And,
definitely.
This is one of the greatest ones. I love like what's his name? Fire guy.
Pyro.
Pyro. I love his like claws of fire there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. He like Colossus, isn't he saying something like, "I'm not sure if I can melt"? Like it's like
he's questioning it. He's like, I don't know. I've never happened before.
Yeah, except he'd been like on a pitchfork or like
right. Yeah, he was on the pyre down in the Savage Lands, right?
Yeah. So it's like we're kind of going backwards there, but you got awesome Wolverine pose right there, like coming in. I mean, the Storm doing her. I mean, for one page, you've got pretty much everybody facing off right here.
Totally. Yep. And I will say, and I mentioned it last time, this when I before I read this issue, I had already started reading the first X Factor run, where these guys show up basically this identical Brotherhood team. And so for me, this was like for me, it was like, oh, hey, they've been together a long while. Like I had seen them fight some of these characters for a while, and it was kind of fun to see the first fight of the new team versus this new Brotherhood. And yeah, I love some of these matchups. I love the way they're all trying to use their abilities to one up each other. And it, to Chet's point, really a big part of this issue is how is Storm functioning as a leader? Because we see her right here stopping Wolverine, throwing him into she's using her powers not to fight, but to stop Wolverine. And, is she making the good choice in the moment? I don't know. What do you guys think about her leadership skills here?
Go ahead,
Darrell.
I love Storm as the leader. I always have loved Storm as a leader. She does make a good point. I think on the next page, is it Angel that's like, yeah, we don't need them cutting up another mutant on TV.
Right.
So it's like she's obviously making the quick snap decision that was right. Yeah, I like Storm's decision making.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I felt like for some of these moments that Storm was like Wolverine's babysitter. Like he's this reckless little kid just kind of doing things, and
kind of needs one, right?
Right. Like he's, and which makes them a good team, right? I mean, essentially she's able to, she has to use her powers to get them to do certain things, but like at least, she can kind of work that out. But yeah, I know we'll get into like some of the other stuff too, but I find it interesting that how those two kind of go at it.
Totally.
Yeah,
but doesn't Wolverine always butt heads with the leader of the team, right? Isn't that kind of his role? So it's just that with a woman he has a gentler attitude about it than with Cyclops, where he's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
All right, well let's continue. Oh wait, we got to pause. It's time for another exciting installment of everyone's favorite mutant quiz game. What's Angel doing now? Because what I noticed while reading this issue was that Angel felt more useless than ever to me. I mean, he is easily one of the most useless mutants. You guys can keep your Cyclops. What does Angel offer? Not a whole lot. And this issue for me really highlighted what's he doing now? Like, really? So the choices are checking the weather, scouting ahead, or flying through clouds randomly with Kitty. Just so you guys know, one of these things is very true. Magic Lasso says, give me the point. He says C. And yeah, there he is.
Ding, ding, ding.
just kind of flying. I don't know how he got from inside this Senate building to way up like 30,000 feet in this cloud cover. Like he is I can't believe she's not freaking out about how much altitude they've gained in like a page of this comic. And
well,
really,
she's older Kitty though.
I'm not sure what his plan is here. I'm really not certain, because let's just recap. The plan here is to protect Senator Kelly from the Brotherhood. How is he accomplishing this right now? I don't know.
Chet is Chet's upset.
I would agree that he does do whatever he wants, and this is a prime example of that. Who is this guy hosting? Star Wars shirt, and Angel is just, I don't know what's going on here. But let's forget Angel. Let's get back to the story. We've got Professor X and Moira also needing protection. Nobody's flying them off to 30,000 feet. They're running through a corridor to get away. Yeah, don't protect the guy in the wheelchair, who's your team leader and founder. Let's get the little girl out of there. Oh, there's a gorgeous female police officer. Help there. I'm going to help you out. Turns out, no, she's going to gas you. It's Mystique, and she's got Destiny right with her, trying to decide, is this going to work? Destiny uncertain about the future here. Justin, what are your thoughts on Mystique's sneaky move here?
Yeah, so this set of panels definitely had me like I felt like a little kid watching a movie where you could predict things, and you're just like, ooh, that's not right. That's a bad person. Like,
don't go back in that room.
Yeah, don't trust her. She's not a good person. So yeah, that was fun, and like I love that, just seeing these bottom right hand panels, seeing Destiny and Mystique there. The recent stuff that we read with Hickman, like I know that's total separate stories, but like I'm just, like, for me, it's all relatively new to me. So I'm just like, ooh, like more Destiny, more Mystique. Like, it's great.
This is that groundwork for that relationship for sure. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, Darrell, you've read a ton of X-Men, so that relationship for you've got a fuller view of that. How do you feel like it starts off for the two of them?
For Destiny and Mystique?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know about it like late as it goes along, but like at this point, you just kind of think, oh, they're good friends, you know. Like they obviously have a good bond going. But yeah,
Right.
if you know what's going on later on, but it makes perfect sense, really.
I think it's hilarious how old she looked in the one panel we saw her without her hat.
Yeah.
And how, I mean, she's got Tina Turner legs. Like she is working the leg game. I hope those things are insured for the millions of dollars that they need to be, because dang, girl. I get that.
She got over here pretty quick from being over there with Avalanche.
Those getaway sticks are working. They are working. All right, well, let's continue on here. We jump to the only section that I was like, okay, they have to do a little previously on here. So they give us the like 6 panels of, hey, remember, there's also a future story happening. We got some mutants in the future, also trying to keep the psyche of young Kitty Pryde alive in her older body in this alternate future. So we've got our mutants sneaking along and deciding they need to attack the Sentinels where they're at. And specifically, that is the Baxter Building. And for those that don't know, that's the home of the Fantastic Four in most storylines. So that's where they apparently need to go stop these Sentinels. And so our heroes of the future, Colossus, Storm, Wolverine, unconscious Kitty Pryde, and they're all going to sneak off to solve this problem. Her legs are top notch on her first appearance. I agree. They're top notch everywhere in all appearances. That's definitely my point. This is Mystique's 6th appearance. Her appearance. Don't even get into that. Don't even. How are you any thoughts on these pages here, Justin?
I think that they do a good job of like kind of bringing us back and forth between the two storylines without like overly forcing anything. I think it like jumps at certain good, just points that make sense. I love older Storm. I don't know what we want to, if we call her old lady Storm or what the nickname would be, but like she still looks badass, still awesome.
Her hair went all white. It's kind of surprising, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't just have the stripe.
No, right. And I do like that they tied in the Baxter Building. I think that's cool just to kind of keep it, grounded within the world of the MCU or the Marvel universe.
Totally. So, I love anytime they use the Baxter Building in a horrible future. Like if you guys haven't read Old Man Quill, they do the same thing there. There's like a toppled Baxter Building, and like they travel down into the dark corners of it. Really cool.
Nice.
Darrell, any thoughts here, Darrell, on this bizarre future?
Well, this is kind of like the Jim Shooter forcing you to like recap even more page. Heading to the Baxter Building. I mean, that's an adventure in itself,
Too true. And I will say,
it makes sense that the Sentinels would take that over because of all the technology and stuff there.
Yep.
For a story balancing a ton of characters across 2 timelines, they really do kind of deftly balance all of that without bogging us down in recaps and stuff. I think they really do the bare minimum, and it works for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because it could easily be like exposition exhaustion.
Since we're at this part in the audiobook, one thing they did different. Kitty in the future, young Kitty in future Kitty's body is unconscious the whole time, but in the audiobook, they actually have her awake and reacting to all of this, which is which was kind of neat in a way. Like, but of course they have to explain it when she goes back that she, the memory starts to fade. But
that's cool.
I thought that was a neat twist into it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think she would be like asking a billion questions and just freaking out the whole time, right?
The whole time freaking out, like what is going on, and having to like understand like her and Peter's relationship, and
stop touching me.
Why is Magneto on our side, and all this stuff.
There you go.
I'd be asking who won the World Series in 1981. Like getting my bets ready. You
need to watch Back to the Future again. I really think you're on the right track. But it does add some credence to her character later on actually having feelings for Peter, because she experienced maybe part of that connection if she was awake for it. I don't know. Instead of it being horribly inappropriate.
Of course, she's kind of thirsting over him a few issues before.
Right? That's true.
I like that Bobby in the chat said the Sentinels chose the Baxter building because it's all about location.
I mean, or does it hint at the fact that Reed Richards' desire to keep his son from joining the X-Men made him create some Sentinels? I don't know. Does it hint at a connection?
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either. But Reed Richards is always the source of a lot of problems. So we have them breaking into the Baxter building. I will say Storm very effective with the electroshock kill Sentinels skills here. I love how she zaps him and he just sort of like slumps against the wall and just sort of crashes down. I love it. And then she's the one that has to unpick the lock. At this point, nobody's carrying their weight but Storm. Right, Storm in the future does all of it. Right, Darrell. How do you, it's hard not to love Storm in this issue, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love that it goes back to her. The lockpick thing is awesome. Have we already gotten to the belt? But yeah, there's Wolverine with the Fantastic Four belt. That
hilarious.
That's awesome. Like, where did he get that? Does he even say? So
no, I don't even think they explain it. No.
Now, one thing on this read through, I was kind of thinking, like, in the movie for it, the future Sentinels are like, they can like turn backwards, like without having to like actually physically turn. I was kind of thinking, like,
they're more gelatinous.
It's like, why didn't the Sentinels evolve a little bit more in this time? But
because when you nail that pink robot style, you just stick with it. You roll.
Yeah. We're not upgrading anything.
No. Justin, how are you feeling about Storm at this point? Because she kind of is taking over the book, right?
Absolutely. And I love that panel of her like electrocuting the head of the one Sentinel there. I was rereading digitally too, and just seeing that like blown up is just so awesome, just on its own kind of. Other than that, like I can't help but laugh at when I see the Wolverine belt scene there. It's just like I'll leave it. I'll just leave it at that.
It's funny even in the old FS, but it's a cool reference because it goes deep into Marvel lore.
Yeah.
But it's like, here you are in a future story, and he's like, "Oh, I got the belt.
I still got it. Right." And it looks so much like he's just peeing on the lock. It's just amazing.
It
had to be yellow, like it couldn't be
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, it had to be
purple
yellow
laser. There's a lot of options here.
Like out of all these action scenes, and then you got like Wolverine there with his belt. Like, just like the other thing too to note here towards the bottom right, as we're talking about Storm being a leader and all this stuff, it's interesting that and I like that they still kept the idea of her fear, claustrophobic being in the elevator there. I just like that they continue to carry some of these storylines, assuming it's, that it's a 2013, that it's all still assumed that they still deal with these things from time to time. So
that consistency, definitely. Old man bladder. Hilarious. Hilarious, Jackson. Well, let's continue. Hey, wait, it's time for another exciting installment of everyone's favorite mutant quiz game. What's Angel doing now? Is he pooping on tourists? Is he blessing innocence? Or is he flitting around and generally getting in the way before being washed away by Storm? I mean, it could be any of these choices. It's really, what does a flying human do? It's a lot of choices. And Lasso's going with C again. It's a risky move. But you're right. He's just kind of floating around. I don't know that there's anything useful he's doing, except he absolutely gets roasted by Storm and blasted out along with all the bad guys. She really flushes the toilet on these characters. Justin, how's the battle going at this point, Justin?
This is great. They're struggling. And this is where, Storm blasting the hole through the entire building there to kind of get the team out. Again, kind of some leadership of, let's get them out in the open, away from, or trying to get them away from like the innocent people around them. But and also I love that panel at the top right there. It's a little covered up by your logo there, but that's just
sorry.
Awesome
no, it's okay. I'm gonna leave it. Leave it because really we belong side by side.
There you go.
You tell me it's not deserved. A lot of things were established in 1963, and I don't like a lot of them. Let's just keep. How do you feel the battle's going, Darrell? How do you feel like these two? Because you look at You look at Colossus there, his hand disappears in the blob, and the blob's just loving it. And then later he's like hanging on the blob. I love it. Like
the whole battle of, you know, Colossus is a lot like the Juggernaut. He's like the unstoppable force for the X-Men.
Right.
So the matchup with him versus the Blob, who's pretty arrogant in this issue too, isn't he?
Totally.
Like talking smack, like you can't move me. Yeah. Angel, I didn't even think about Angel and Kitty being up in the clouds and then back in the building until you pointed this
I don't
out.
know how they got back here,
funny.
but they're right back in the thick of it. And
That's
nobody
that
has decided to
five
help
knocked
check
off.
on the guy with the wheelchair. Nobody.
Yeah.
Or, by the way, what is our main objective here? Protecting. Where's Senator Kelly, you guys?
Okay.
The guy you're supposed to be flying off to somewhere else to protect. Where's that guy?
Yeah. Well, Kitty's on that case now.
I feel like if there was ever anybody that would be useful in flying somebody to safety, kind of that guy. Get to work, man. You had one job.
He's like picking up random people. They're like, no, Angel, we want one person specifically.
Yeah.
He's like, this one over here.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely an Andre the Giant sort of thing happening here.
Yeah.
I found 4 white horses. Let's keep going. Here is the one useful contribution I found, and it was really difficult. I am pointing at, he's punching somebody. Angel punched a guy right there. He punched Pyro. The one useful thing I found he did in this entire issue. So, Chet, you are redeemed. He punched Pyro, and it happened right. I don't know if you can see the arrow right there, hidden behind the random reporters running for safety. Is that guy going? That was it. That was Angel for the entire issue. But better than that, next to it, Justin, we get more Blob v Colossus. What do you feel about that matchup?
Yeah, so this is really cool, especially like from my perspective of the Blob. Like, I really have never seen the Blob in action before, up until some of these, these late issues here. Like, I've never read the older stuff, and I've always had like kind of a general idea of what he is and what he can do, but not really, I guess. So to get an understanding here of, like, again, I think they do a good job just kind of explaining, I guess, what would be the obvious, like what he can do and what he can control. He's talking about how he can control more of his mass in one direction and things of that nature. He's, as Darrell, as you said, like super cocky, like the idea of like, I only move when I want to move, like that whole thing gives you kind of an idea of, who he is. And Colossus, yeah, he's struggling. It's definitely, Blob's like winning at this point.
Yes, he did. You best believe he's got one more issue under his belt before he's done. So the next issue is Byrne's finale. Yeah. Darrell, how you feeling about this Colossus Blob matchup here? Because Storm flushes everybody out, but these two, these two guys are still clinging on. And then whammo, Colossus is just getting pummeled, man.
Yeah, I love the scene. I love all of this, actually. I love Colossus flying out of the building. Just the pose he's in. There's just so much weight in that,
Yes.
And then you see the Blob leaping out of the window, too, in itself, which is funny. And then, of course, good trope of rip it up the ground, to flip the guy up in the air and stuff. I mean, yeah, this is a master class of cartooning, basically. And, sequential storytelling right here.
So much action, right? Back and forth going on here for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I did this to Banshee, but Banshee makes Angel look very, very bad because Banshee was more effective than Angel. I'm just going to say. Barefoot Blob. Because why do you need... It's a question why he wears clothing at all at this point. It's really just for the Comic Code Authority, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Well, let's roll hey, you guys. It's time for another exciting installment of everyone's favorite mutant quiz game. What's Angel doing now? Is he slapping Pyro? No, he just did that on the last page. Is he checking on the wheelchair-bound Xavier? Or is he uselessly flying around and generally being too late in warning Colossus about tank fire?
I had to say, Lasso is on point here tonight. He is throwing these answers out.
I think Lasso has read this issue. It's possible Lasso knows what's going on because, a tank shoots at Colossus, and when he's being struck, Angel shouts, "Colossus, look out." I mean, just a little. I mean, it's a tank. You had to see. You're flying up above. How do you not see the tank coming before it shoots the guy that's on your team? Just a heads up is all I'm asking for. Just give me some warning beforehand. You're up there. That's you. Again, you don't have a lot of jobs. More importantly, though, Darrell, we get Pyro going crazy here.
Yeah, he's got a nice flame monster going there, grabbing Wolverine again. Back to Colossus, though. You notice the sound effect of
Zark.
I think it's Zark.
Yeah.
It's the same as Cyclops' sound effect.
Yes, the blast.
Yeah, I noticed that. But yeah, that flame monster, awesome. All of that is awesome.
What?
But then Wolverine's going after Blob too.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Wolverine is still trying to get in on this. It's like he wants to kill somebody, right? He wants to stab somebody, but doesn't really have a chance. Justin, how do you feel about Wolverine kind of getting fire handled here?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't look good for him, and the only thing that I would have kept on my mind reading this again, like if from a first time thing, is the cover and thinking like, well, Wolverine must somewhat get through this because we know that he fights a Sentinel later, or we would hope so, as the cover shows. Right. The fire monsters that are created by Pyro here, is that something that's like used often, or not often, but like I guess I don't know much about Pyro other than like some of the newer stuff I've kind of read into, but even that I haven't read a lot of his stuff in general. But
I feel like his abilities have like retrograded. Like his abilities in the late 80s and 90s when I read the character seemed way more out of control, and he had a harder time doing all of this. He seems like he is on his game here. Maybe Mystique and Magneto taught him something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really remember him making monsters. Mostly he just kind of like almost controlled the flames in the way like kind of Iceman controls the eyes, like in just kind of waves coming out.
All right.
I don't really remember him making like maybe like a hand, but not like a big monster.
Okay.
Right.
He's like Gandalf.
I mean, he is kind of, right? I honestly would be happy to have a throwback to this version of Pyro where he's really like, because his power is not generating flame, it's manipulating it, right?
Right. He needs that flamethrower that he has hooked up to.
What a cool way for him to manipulate the flame. Like this is the essence of his ability, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, you're right. The ability to control but not to create.
Yeah. I love this book, but it left me wondering so much, like, when do we get Kurt? Yeah, where'd Kurt go? He got flushed out, and then we lost him for a little bit. So yeah, Wolverine getting torched here a little bit, and then Storm coming in and sort of doing this repeated thing of like trying to douse the flames while, hey, here's your Nightcrawler, Chet. Facing off against another Nightcrawler. Wolverine left to try to pick who's who and deal with it. What do you think about Nightcrawler in this issue, Justin?
So I thought this was great. I mean, I was wondering kind of, well, it's funny. The only thing I have in my mind right now is that tomorrow night I'm going to be breaking down the X-Men movie from 2000, and there's a scene in that. I just watched the movie the other day again. I haven't seen it in a long time, but that it just as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, I wonder if they took that idea from this scene or from this set of panels in any way. Obviously, it's not Nightcrawler in the movie that they use. They have two sets of Wolverines instead, but it still kind of plays out in that same way of like them saying like they each want to like handle the fight themselves, or like telling other people to back off and stuff like that. So I think it's a really cool concept, really cool idea to just have these two go at it, and then obviously a little hint of connection between the two of them, which I still don't fully know all the details of.
Yeah, Chet commenting on that right there. The dialogue with Mystique and Kurt a little bit later for sure. And Wolverine can sniff it out, but we don't actually get to that moment, right?
But doesn't he say he can't because he's hurt from the flames?
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's what he says here, right? He's like, I got this whole plan. I'm going to go do it. And then we pause for this sort of blue background Storm moment where she's trying to like corral his thinking.
Yeah, that gif.
He's like, I wouldn't take this from Cyclops.
Right?
Yeah, it was weird because the panels before this, he was just like grateful for Storm saving his life and all this stuff. Like he just talked about like, man, I owe her, or whatever the words that he uses. But like, it was such a flip, such a turnaround for him to then just like be like, what do you know? And just getting like in her face after that. I'm just like, man, like Wolverine's very like 0 to 100, like really quick.
That's why he got so popular.
yeah, I guess
the kids related to that.
Like some of it just makes you like do a Dwight look from The Office where Jim, looking at off to the camera like, is this guy real right now? Is he really like freaking out like this?
Well, and taking orders from a frail, no less. I mean, we're really in that place, right? There's some great comments about Pyro and having him partner with people like Human Torch or Fire. Like what a great, imagine if Human Torch and Pyro teamed up, like what? Wow, that book would be fire. Wait for it. Ready? There you go. Ryan. But of course, this discussion leads to their distraction, right, Darrell? And then we deal with Avalanche taking advantage of that.
Yeah. They get flipped there. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up to where we are because I've got lost.
Yeah, just the idea that Storm dealing with Wolverine or Wolverine questioning Storm's leadership leads to this opportunity for the villains.
Yeah, but she's right again.
Right.
He does concede. So, Wolverine, like he really does have a lot of respect for Storm. I think more so than he ever had for Scott. But like you said earlier, she's kind of like his babysitter to some extent.
Well, she's the one always carrying him around by his diaper when they're falling from the sky, right?
Whitey tighties there.
Here's what she said. So he says, I wouldn't take that from Cyclops. Great quote Justin read earlier. And then she says, you will take it from me.
Yeah.
You possess speed, strength. Your unbreakable adamantium skeleton makes you nearly invulnerable. You should not need your claws, except in the most extreme of situations against the deadliest and most powerful of foes. I mean, she makes a great point to him.
Yeah.
Telling you, just a teacher just talking to a little kid,
Because she's seen him in action right down in the Savage Lands, popping the claws. Remember her and Nightcrawler going, oh, damn.
Yeah.
He just killed that guy.
On the edges of the page. Was it on the same page, or I can't remember how you have the. So you got the snick and then the snap, like right.
Yeah,
right
there,
top to bring him back in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So good. I mean, Aurora's right. It's amazing. But then also like the distraction is a great moment. I love seeing that Avalanche takes advantage of it because I feel like he's a little underused. His abilities are so like complex. There's so much to it. There's so many ways they can manifest what he does. It's not just like, oh, I make the ground rumble. Like he's manipulating matter. And I feel like that he's pretty OP if you really think about what he can do. He's kind of like Molecule Man almost in that way. So I feel like he gets held back a little bit, like they've got the leash on him a little.
And he can do it to more than the ground, because doesn't he? In the last issue, didn't he like make like a vase or something? Just like crumble,
he was like changing matter, right?
Oh,
yeah. It was crazy.
What is he wears like this space suit of some sort? It looks like an Iron Man type suit.
Yeah, I don't know the logic behind. He looks like a Spaceballs character. So this is hilarious to me. This is ridiculous. Like, here's the plan. The fact that the Colossus could pitch this to Wolverine. Hey, dude, here's what I do. Lay down. I'm going to lay this giant metal beam on you. You're going to be a fulcrum. All the weight on you, right? All the weight. We're going to sneakily slide it underneath Blob's crotch. He's not going to notice. Not going to notice. And then I'm going to hit it really hard on one end and launch the Blob into the air. Then when he falls down right near me, I'm going to punch him into Avalanche. And all you got to do is take all the weight of my punch on one end and the weight of the Blob on the other end. Are you in or are you out? Like, it's hilarious. I wanted that gif at the end where it's like, holy crap, I can't believe that worked. It's hilarious. I love it. I love it. Did anybody hate this? Because I could legit see somebody reading this going, oh my God, this is the worst part of the book.
I don't want to say I hate it. I laughed at it like you are now, but if we're taking the book in like a serious way, like the rest of the story, yes,
right.
This is one of the like things that, because I'm like, now how did this work? Because why didn't it just bend when it hit Blob? Like, how did it flip him up? You know, so this is one of those like, okay, I'm knocking it down to 0.5 off. This is part of that 0.5 off. Because it just didn't make sense even from like the comic book with the rules already established of the story, but. I mean, it's still fun, like especially coming down and hitting him as hard as he can in the air on the avalanche to take 2 out with the one trick, you know. It's
the teeter-totter special. They should absolutely name this. Freaking-lutely. I will say, so I was at camp one summer, sleepaway camp, and I found a big log I wanted to split. So I laid it across a rock and then threw another rock on top, hoping to split it in the middle, and it hit one end of the log, and the other end shot up and cracked me in the head, and I had a concussion. Jeez. So for me, I feel like this is not a good strategy, but maybe that's just life experience speaking for me.
Well, he wanted it to come back to it,
right?
So he could smack it.
So it worked well. I also don't feel like Wolverine should be able to logistically take that pressure and wait. Like
it's the adamantium. He just like locked his elbows.
True.
It's so good. Yeah, Justin, how did you react when you first read this?
You know, I never pick these things out the way you do, John. Like, and it is so funny. Like, I love the kind of narration to how this may have built up to this. I think for me, I just was like so sick of the Blob, like talking trash the way he was, that I'm just like, can these guys just like handle this guy now? Like, I'm just tired of this guy. Yeah. Like, let's just get this guy out of here. Oh, good. He's gone. Like, you know, I-beam perfect. Like, let's just move on now, you know?
Right. So good.
But you're not wrong, John. You're not wrong.
I just wanted the I wanted the conversation a little bit longer. I wanted like 2 more panels of them discussing this, and Wolverine just going, "Fine, let's just do it. Let's just go. Okay, fine. No more. Stop talking science to me of the math of this." So let's. This I love these 2 panels. So I had to blow them up extra big. You got the fire monster from Pyro, and of course Storm just raining it down to be like, "What do you got? Fire, please. Water beats fire. Suck it." Yep. I love this
every time. Yep. Yeah, she's the MVP here. She is MVP here.
Right. It's John's Wile E. Coyote. I mean, it was basically a Wile E. Coyote moment for me. Darrell, any thoughts on Storm? I mean, this is for me is like Storm earns her money right here.
Yeah, what can you say? She's so powerful. That's why in a lot of stories it seems like they look for ways to almost take her out.
Right.
You know, but it's like here, it's like you needed her to demonstrate what she can do. Plus, this is like what her second story as the leader of the team. So, you know, they have to let her show off a little bit.
But you look at the detail work with Burns here, like the fire monster and then the rain and the clouds inside of her cape.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Yep.
And it's like a sheet of rain that's like coming down so powerful that it's taking out that fire monster.
Yep.
You know, it's not a sprinkle.
It's so good.
Right.
And Pyro just like lost in the storm. I love that you can't even make him out completely. He's like disappearing into this heavy downpour. It's amazing.
Yep.
She's blessed the rains down. I get you, Bobby. I'm with you. So good. But we'll continue on here with this. I love that. So for me, when the second Mystique stops him by going, "Ask your mother," I was like, "Oh, wait a second. Is this your mama? Is she like throwing your mom into this? Your mom told me. You should have asked me when I was with your mom last night." I was like, "Wait, what? Wait, what happened? Wait, I don't understand. Ask your mom. Who'd know better than she would? Wait, how'd you know my mom's name? You talking about my mom?" I love all of it.
I like how he's like, wait, we have blue skin and yellow eyes. What's going on here? It's like, obviously, there's some connection because we both have, even though he's supposed to have like fur, not just like skin.
Right.
So good.
Slowly connecting the dots there. Great gifts, by the way.
What is up? Yeah, anything that had mother or mom in it, I was like, I need that. I need this. Give me all of them. Yeah, they did not say Martha. Thankfully. But to Darrell's point, like she can look like anyone or anything. So who's to say that her blue skin and yellow eyes aren't just like another look?
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And they pause at this moment to be like, wait a second. You and I look alike.
So
good.
Okay, you guys know I'm doing that Age of Apocalypse read through.
Yes.
And,
I need to catch up to you because I got the collected editions, the complete editions, and I'm only about halfway through the whole thing, and I had to stop and do other stuff, and I know I'm gonna have to start again because there were so many little things I missed.
I'm still in the first week, but it's like it leans into Mystique being his mother in it, and I was like, when did they confirm that? And I looked it up, and they don't confirm this until 1994.
It took a long time.
They don't confirm. So this is 1980. So it's 14 years before they finally confirmed that, yes, she is his mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the connections to Rogue and all of these things across like so long as like siblings. What's going on? Wait, what? Yeah.
Well, do you know what Claremont's real plan was, though?
No, I'd love to hear this.
Have I told you this before, Justin?
No.
He actually wanted Destiny to be the mother and Mystique to be the father.
Wow.
Take my freaking money.
Wow.
Love this.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Obviously,
yeah.
I wasn't going to let him touch that.
Right.
I freaking love that. That's great.
Wait. You said Claremont wanted this, or
Claremont wanted that?
Oh, okay.
I saw it in there's a documentary. It's on Amazon Prime, I think. Like Claremont X-Men, and he talked about. He's like, that's what I wanted to do was have Mystique,
so good.
Morph into a man, basically.
Chet, stop bragging. Stop bragging. I already knew that.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty wild when you think about it.
No, it's a great.
And he was thinking of that in the 80s.
Yeah.
Why couldn't she be, right?
Right.
Yep. That's awesome.
Cool. Claremont Vision again. Amazon Prime. Watch it. Get yourself together.
Yep.
That's cool, though. That is cool. So moving on. Hey, you guys, it's time for another exciting installment of everyone's favorite mutant quiz show. What's Angel doing now? Is he finally joining the fight? Is he providing air support? Or is he convincing the team to run away and abandon the mission and Kitty and Professor X?
There's Lasso.
There's a lot of options.
I think he was checking the weather. Wasn't he checking the weather at this point?
Yeah. I mean, I know that he is an amateur meteorologist, but with Storm around, you really have the pro. So let's see what he was doing. He says, Vamoose, buddy, the Army's got Blob, Avalanche, and Pyro in custody, and they're looking for the X-Men. And we're like, wait. Don't we have like a guy in a wheelchair to find? Wasn't our job here to protect a senator? Where's the senator? Like, why are we leaving? Why do you want us to leave?
Angel's too rusty from this X-Men stuff.
There's kind of some things we need to do here, man.
Like, this isn't the champions, Angel. We're not here just to show.
This really bugged me when he's flying in there. We got to get out of here. We got to go. Now I'm ready to warn you that there's troops coming. There was a tank too, I think, back there somewhere. I didn't see it. So, Justin, thoughts on the retreat here?
Yeah, I mean, he's what a multi. Is he a billionaire, millionaire? He's up there, right?
Let's just call him wealthy. Okay,
he's very wealthy.
1%er.
Right? Yeah.
In the 80s, he was probably a millionaire, but by today's standards.
Okay. Yeah. So he probably has people to do a lot of this stuff that he's lacking of doing. So that's what I'm chalking it up to.
Okay. I'm not going to answer this. I'm not going to answer this, Chet. I'm not going to answer this. I don't know what issue his head pops out like it does here on this panel. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not important. Red Bull commercial. I would love it if he was the sponsor of Red Bull in the X universe. That is phenomenal.
That would be great. That'd be great.
Phenomenal.
And he just flies off with his wings.
Red Bull gives you wings and apparently makes you run away from the guy in the wheelchair.
Run away.
But let's find out what's going on. We got to jump to the future. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, gentlemen. Justin, you read this the first time and you're like, holy crap. They just fried Wolverine.
Yeah. This was a heavy scene. This was like, and again, reading it digitally the first time, having the panel-to-panel features on, and just seeing it slowly escalate from elevator to creeping up behind the guy. We even get the fastball special where I'm like, yes, like here we go. And then you swipe and you literally get that fourth panel there just in your face. And to where you see rib cage, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay, that's forever right there. Like
that's
a lot
special
more
fail.
Yeah. But I'm like, man, like that's it. Like, you know, and it definitely hits you there, and especially, like I'm like amped, right? You get the fastball special, like here we go, like let's, Wolverine gonna do his thing, Colossus, just like old times, they're gonna take this guy out, and nope, he was completely ready, and just like. Even the confidence of the Sentinel, like how he expresses how ready he was. He's like, you think we were just going to let you all walk in here and surprise us? Right. Like we knew from the get that you guys were, coming here. So
I practically wanted to do like dust his shoulders.
Seriously.
Peace, bub. Right. I'm sorry, Apex, did I miss a comment from you? I scrolled up and I saw you say that Burns' pencils are still phenomenal. Is that the one? Sorry. I got to find it. They're still stellar. Mm-hmm. I agree. They are still stellar.
Yeah.
Jurg beats Slang. Yeah, that's fair.
Jurg.
And Darrell, what about, I'm going to go on to the next panel, but as far as the death of Storm and Wolverine in basically one page, how did you react the first time you read this, Darrell?
The first time I can't really remember. I guess because I kind of knew it was going to happen.
It says it on the front page, right? Yeah, on the cover.
Yeah, it's a lot more brutal right here, though. And then the Storm, I think because you see Wolverine on the cover happening to him, but when Storm gets impaled, you're kind of like, whoa. And I will say in the audiobook too, it goes into so much more detail about Wolverine's charred body, and he's still like almost kind of alive.
Whoa.
And they have him make one more move at an ankle of the Sentinel to bring it down enough. And Storm's able to start taking it out. And I think she takes that one out, and then one's coming at Colossus, and the one that they thought she'd taken out, and then it impales her. And it's a lot more dramatic, actually. When he's because this happens so quick, and he's too.
Oh my gosh, right? And then they don't even really zoom in on the fact that we see his Terminator skeleton kind of thing laying there.
Oh yeah,
that's probably the first time
you can see his skeleton, steam coming off of it. He looks like a Terminator. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger laying there.
Yeah. There's no flesh left on that.
Nothing.
Completely fried away.
Yeah. And then the obviously Storm. I love the fact that so my gripe. Here's my gripe. The electric shock thing works again. She zaps another Sentinel. It's perfect. Why the hell is she listening to Colossus? Freeze that guy. Do you know how long it's going to take her to create water and then freeze one of these Sentinels? Of course they're going to hit her with some crazy shooting dart that they apparently have in their hands. Stop listening to Colossus. He's the muscle. You just keep zapping these fucking Sentinels.
It makes you wonder how she ever got caught to begin with.
Why is she freezing the Sentinels? I don't get it. Stop freezing Sentinels. Zap them. One zap. She's taking out 2 Sentinels with a single zap.
I was waiting for Colossus to show up with another I-beam, and
Colossus is like, hey, you should freeze one. Let's see if that works. Let's try freezing one. Right now, we're surrounded by Sentinels.
Underneath his legs here.
Jesus. Listen to that guy.
He does go off, though. He does go off.
I love you, Apex, man.
Yeah, he does.
I'm here for you, brother. This was a great comment, too. Lasso, I love how the Sentinels have to, duck. They didn't build the room for Sentinels. They had to, duck in to get into the room. So good. All right. So yeah, Justin, how Storm getting killed? How did that hit you?
Yeah, I mean, like Darrell said, like it's coming, but it's not sure exactly how that's going down until you see this. And I like that they made it like this, all black, and then just like the red and orange, like blood, essentially. That's like kind of the harpoon going through her there. On just a plain white. I thought that was a great way to kind of illustrate that.
Yeah.
And then as Darrell said, like you start to see oh no, that was before, never mind. But yeah, Colossus goes off on after this whole thing.
It's the next page, yes. The next panel. Colossus has the same reaction with his tears that Storm had when she saw the reaction of Logan dying. Like each of them feels this intensity. And yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they made Rachel Summers look like Guy Gardner. I didn't realize that Guy Gardner was in this issue with that red-haired bowl cut going.
So someone did ask if the X-Men were the one with the rings, right?
So yeah, to your point there, Scott. Yes, in fact, apparently they are. So there you go. That I saw her there at the end. I was like, wait. Guy Gardner's in this? Holy crap.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how she looks right there. I think
she looks so much like him.
Yeah. But you're so like just taken up by the characters that you do know.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're kind of reading this like kind of, oh my gosh, what just happened?
And then I love the way that she's psychically connected to them or knows the second they're dying, she's feeling that. That's a cool use of her ability.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Like one after the other, each panel.
Oh, it's hitting her hard.
Yeah, I love Colossus there, like his face, and you could even like see the tears. Coming down, and then just see one of the Sentinels going flying through the building, like his anger, and knowing how kind of a person Colossus is. Like it obviously has to take so much to get him to this type of level of anger that it even says, I know in some of that yellow description there, where he's just like, someone who's normally one of the nicest, one of the kindest, like he's, just loses it here.
Yeah. I agree. Jackson Roykirk. Yeah. Guy Gardner lives. So he does not, die in this particular issue.
I guess Kitty does too.
Well, we're going to find out right here because apparently Destiny is packing a crossbow somewhere in this outfit. I don't know where the crossbow came from, but she's got it. Of all the weapons that she could possibly use to kill the senator, she's going crossbow. And Kitty is the only one there. Kitty is the only one who's like, wait, the mission was to protect the senator. I'm here. I'm ready. And she does the while they're monologuing, she does the dive through Destiny and adjust her aim and shout, hey, Senator, she's shooting at you now. Duck. Yeah. Which is hilarious to me because it's like, was he not going to duck? He saw her pointing the gun at him, right? He's watching her. He's not not aware of the shooting. And then, of course, the second she changes history, absolutely faints, just absolutely psychedelically passes out here, which to me, here's where I'm at with this, right? She messes with Destiny's aim and then faints. I'm Destiny and I'm thinking, I packed a second arrow, right? I know I got another arrow here.
Just do this again.
I can reload, right? Let's just do this again. She's fainted. There's nobody else here now. Reload. But here's the reality. That crossbow and her costume only left her one arrow. So she had one shot. She's done. She's out. And that's it.
The cape wasn't big enough to
so here's the here's the climax. Darrell, what are your thoughts on this Destiny Kitty Kelly showdown?
I'm always like, how did she miss exactly? Just Kitty phased through her, so it made her be like, oh.
I think it says that her shoulder, she phases back in and nudges her shoulder. That's what
just enough.
Yeah, to just have it go off course or whatever.
Gotcha.
But I would think that because she phased back in, that she's essentially phasing in the whole body of Destiny to where we've seen this in the Hickman stuff. Captain Pride has killed people, soldiers and stuff like that from phasing in people and actually ripping through them. So I thought I assume she didn't do it through her, so she didn't kill her Destiny, but she just rephased on the other side of her. I don't know, like I'm trying to like explain scientifically, but like, and then just like nudge just the gun or her shoulder, so because Destiny still lives in all this, but
I think Kitty she doesn't have to completely go
right. Just
like,
part.
she could like reach through a wall and then like make her hand solid enough to like grab something and then pull it back through. So maybe she just did like her hand enough to like tap her.
Right.
I know. I mean, obviously, this is a Mystique mistake. Sending the blind person to finish the job and shoot them might not be the best call. You'd have to be blind to, but there you go. And she's old. So she's old and blind, and you give her a crossbow to kill the senator. There's some flaws in the plan. I'm just
solid legs though. Solid legs.
But legs for days. She's wearing a giant egg helmet that might disrupt the vision too.
Do you think she has like Daredevil-ish powers, or her precog lets her know where things, obstacles
seeing the future makes her just completely aware of everything except Kitty Pryde jumping through her.
Now Kitty was her like kind of a blind spot. Because where she had like time displaced mind or whatever.
Yep. I do like that they kind of talked about that multiple times throughout like last issue and this issue, kind of showing Destiny saying like, well, the plan should be 100%, but there's a little, there's a little cloudiness, like
anomaly.
See it. Yeah.
So I'm sorry we're going a little bit slow here, but here we have the X-Men. They have succeeded. They've caught Destiny. They've saved the Senator. Mystique is left like having to slink away, and the heroes are like, I love the Senator who's like, I still really hate mutants. And he's like, who are you guys? And Storm's like, okay, let me explain it all to you. I'm Storm, leader of the X-Men. I suspect this child is the person who just saved your life. Mutants, like people, both good and bad. You could do well to remember that. We're gonna, before you seek to condemn us, but we gotta go. We gotta run because the cops are coming for us. We gotta go.
So I thought that was a pretty heavy moment there of like really making the point of like, we're not all bad people. And again, like kind of tying into like real world stuff and, people making judgments on things like that. Like to know that,
based on physical attributes, right?
Yeah. Like you can't make these judgments and assume, everyone is the same in that sense. And I mean, obviously of this time, like it's, it's a powerful message and I think that's one of the things I always come back to why I like X-Men so much is just the relate, how things kind of relate to real world stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Darrell, on the ending here? Yeah, sorry.
It's a solid wrap up. A little, I don't want to say it's preachy because that sounds negative, but
it's a little neat.
Little monologue. Yeah. It's a solid wrap up, I think.
Yeah.
I like the, I'm sure you're going to it next, but the panel is like Kitty and Professor X. So
no, actually, we have another exciting installment of everyone's favorite mutant quiz game. What's Angel doing now? Is he drinking a cold one with Logan?
Oh.
Is he unironically flying the plane? Which I would really enjoy.
That's great.
Or is he shockingly taking credit for the success of this mission and summarizing everybody else's hard work?
It's all of it. All of it there. Yeah. Alan says D, all of the above.
Yeah.
He is right there saying, Professor, we, I love the use of we, saved Professor Senator Kelly. Kitty's mind has been returned to her body. Doesn't that mean that we have changed the future? Damn it, Angel, you weren't even there.
You were trying to run away.
So sorry I made this a really long episode of the show, but I really had to really take some time.
This is great. So good.
So yeah, and of course Professor Xavier has to do the like classic trope of like, let me say a really clever line and then we'll just end on, I don't know, Warren, cliche though it sounds, only time will tell. There it is, Professor X. Thank you, sir. And yeah, thoughts on the wrap up, Angel, there at the end? Warning worthlessness.
No.
Shots fired. Hey, I mean,
Chet is gonna kill you, John.
deserved. Poor Angel? Are you kidding me? Poor Angel. Out of all the what about Colossus, who got hit by tank fire because he was so slow? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Retconned somewhere that Xavier just removed the anti-mutant bigotry from Senator Kelly's mind. Ooh, I mean, seems like an overstep, but whatever.
He's prone to do that on occasion.
Any last thoughts, or should I keep rolling, gentlemen?
Keep rolling.
Keep it going.
All right, so here we have the final page of the issue, the look ahead at Henry Peter Gyrich, who is going to work with Senator Kelly and Sebastian Shaw for some evil plan called Project Wide Awake. There's no space between wide and awake, so it's Wide Awake. Project Wide Awake. So very exciting, scary concerns for the future with this villain on the rise.
Yeah, I remember having to reread this. I was kind of confused with the angle of what was exactly happening, but getting a little bit more of a better grasp. I understood so basically Senator Kelly still wants to move forward, right?
They did not, shockingly, that one paragraph did not convince him.
yeah. So I mean, I remember him. I think it was the panel before, where he's saying or maybe it's this one where he says they were threatening my life, but if there were no mutants at all, then my life would never be threatened to begin with, and so that's
a life that was threatened initially, Mr. President, by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. If there's no more mutants, period, my life would not have been threatened at all.
Yeah.
There you go.
Didn't learn a thing.
No. That's I just remember reading that and I'm just wait, so everything they just went through, everything that Kitty Pryde traveled back in time to warn and all this, is this still is just gonna happen? It's just
right.
And the other thing too, I had to look this guy up at the bottom there, Henry. Yeah. So I didn't know much about him, but when I Googled him actually just yesterday or 2 days ago, and I didn't realize that he's actually the guy that dies in X-Men 1, the movie that I just watched. So I'm oh, that's they use him. I'm sure that's his character is much different in the books, but yeah, I was oh wow, I didn't.
And he's in the comics for a bunch, so he's definitely somebody you'll see again.
He was in the Avengers a lot too.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Oh, wow.
Look, see, Darrell knows his stuff.
Nice.
Vinny says, "Poor Angel," because John's burns are so much more epic than anything Colossus did in these pages. I mean, well earned, you could say. Well earned. So we got some fun facts here on issue 142. It's the conclusion of the Days of Future Past story for now. Deaths of Colossus, Storm, and Wolverine ish. Rachel Summers is from Earth 811. Obviously, our hero's Earth 616. Later, she will try to save her future all by herself in future story arcs. I will say Rachel Summers is one of my favorite characters to come out of these 2 issues.
Oh,
and
nice.
I know that Justin hasn't read too much with Rachel, but I don't know how Darrell feels about that character. What are your feelings on Rachel as a character, Darrell?
Yeah, she comes back and is pretty badass all around. She comes back around the Nimrod story.
Yes.
Right on that. Yeah, I like the Nimrod story a lot too. That's not too well.
She's just a fun iteration of Phoenix in the era when we don't really have Jean Grey around. I really think she's a fun addition. And she's in a lot of the Ramita Jr. stuff.
Yeah, and she's not an overpowered Phoenix. It's Phoenix is so cool, but it's she was so powerful. It's what do you do with her? The X-Men just wins everything they do.
Exactly.
Which was part of the problem that I think Byrne had with her. It was we need to get her out of here.
Yes.
So, Rachel's pretty cool because she is kind of a Phoenix-ish character, but not so powerful that she makes the X-Men unstoppable.
And she's still young enough to still be learning how it all works, and I think it's entertaining as a character and a connection to this story long term.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It always brings it back,
Is she from the late are these the late 100s issues, or is this after
yes, late 100s and then into early 200s? I think she's still there into the early 200s.
Okay.
Wish Marvel would have committed to her miniseries in the early 80s that got canceled. That would have been exciting. I would have been down for that. Did I say hi, Chris?
What's that, Al?
Was there a miniseries? Was it supposed to be in this future timeline about her?
I would have assumed it was in our timeline, but that would have been interesting either way, I think. Definitely, Justin mentioned the Mystique hinting about the link between Nightcrawler and the mom. So there's some fun stuff going on there as far as, backstory for Nightcrawler kind of stuff. Financially, a 9.8 of this book has a 90-day average of $571, which is shockingly low to me. But that's more than that. That's the 90-day average of this book right now. Fair market value $650 because the 1 year average was a lot higher when this book was spiking long ago. There's 199, as Justin mentioned earlier. There are 577 9.8s. There are over 1,000 9.6s and 800 9.4s. So get off your high horse and get out there. A couple $100 could get you a beautiful copy of this phenomenal, iconic book.
I would think there would just be tons of these out there. I mean, X-Men was such a phenomenon at this stage.
Yeah.
And people were buying them. They weren't just throwing them out. They were putting them aside. They knew.
And these two issues so iconic that everybody would probably want their version encapsulated or protected in some manner. So it's not surprising that you would have, close to 3,000 copies in that super high grade. So there you go. And that's it, gentlemen. Any last thoughts here? I can shut this down.
So the one thing I want to add that I just remember the first time reading this, and John, I want to say I went to you about this, and maybe I talked to Otto too at the first time that I read this. And this is again like beginning of the pandemic, kind of time period for me. Reading through these issues and doing it like day after day after day. I just remember like still questioning how this ends and wondering what does it mean or what did it mean for the future teams. And I kind of guess still have that question today, like. Like that world, what happens in that world? Like, do we ever get anything from that again? Is that just a separate world that no one ever talks about again, or you know what I mean, or like
don't talk about it?
Yeah, like or is that relevant to some degree, or like even like Kitty Pryde, old Kitty Pryde going back in time, kissing her and herself, whatever, and then like going back, like. Was there ever a story that carried on from that, or did they fix anything? Was anything changed within that time period, or is that not how time travel works or affecting time? Like I know that was a discussion with the Avengers movies and things like that too.
But. No, I mean Darrell can chime in as well. I know there were several story arcs pulling from that future, and certainly Rachel coming to our time is a big part of that. And Nimrod. Yeah. So Earth. I think that I say is 811 definitely continues to be vital in the X universe but there are so many iterations of Sentinels winning, right? Yeah. Sentinels are, destroying Earth and ruling the day, that I think apocalyptic futures are like an iconic X-Men trope, which is why Age of Apocalypse
but starts here.
Age of Apocalypse plays off of a lot of those themes. In a lot of ways, it's not the same 8-1-11, right? 8-11, but it's certainly the same thematic comments.
Age of Apocalypse kind of flips it to where it's like instead of like the Sentinels have wiped out all the mutants, it's like Apocalypse is wiping out the humans.
Yes,
and the mutants are in control, but Magneto's band of X-Men is like, whoa, we don't need to be, killing all the humans anymore.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, it's John's right. It pulls from that same trope that started with this story.
Okay. Well, that's cool. It's good to know like that they still kind of use some ideas from this time period or in the future.
AFP&C says, I'm not sure. I think it's a mix of present and future flashbacks. It was solicited around the time they were promoting the Long Shot mini. So this is the Rachel Summers mini series that never came out. Jay Hood saying this. The answer is spoilers. Definitely Nimrod is a part of that. And Nimrod is pivotal character in the coming, what are we on 140? Like the next 50 issues, we're going to get some Nimrod exciting stuff. This is the future that looms over the X-Men going forward, the future with their biggest fears. Totally agree with that. I think the 811 still exists, just our present 1980 changed. Well, the truth is, too, we joked before we went live about how this takes place in 2013. Right. So we have surpassed the concerns in some ways because we did not achieve those tragic futures when 213 came around. Right.
True.
Did House of M or Powers of X, whichever one it was, it did touch on it, didn't it? Didn't it? In all of Moira's lives, did it not?
Oh, in House.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
On one of these.
It probably did actually. Some from all the different years.
Yeah.
That's House of X.
One of her many lives, was the 811. So that makes sense. Yeah, I think you're right. So. Yeah. Bishop is from a different future. I don't think he's 811. He's from a different future, but very similar future storyline. It's just same with Cable is from a different one.
The 90s X-Men cartoon, when they adapted the story, they used Bishop going back in time.
Oh, they sent him from that era
instead of him from that era, but not his mind, he just straight up
his whole body. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there you look at that. Because again, there's a ton of timelines where our heroes in the X universe have failed,
right?
And so it's always been this sort of common. I would say since this series, it's been a common X-Men theme to have failed, and how can we fix it, kind of thing.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so we're at the trivia portion of our show. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And if you have read 141 or want to make some jokes about 141, this is the time. You are here now. We're going to ask 4 questions about the previous show that was on Justin's channel. The link to his channel and the link to Darrell's Instagram is down below. You should subscribe and check out everybody's content because in a week, we're going to be back over on KnowGood Comics channel for 143. But for now, hopefully you saw the episode 141 that we did because we're going to ask you 4 questions about it. The first 2 correct answers get raffle ticket entries. And the funniest answer as decided by Darrell also gets a raffle ticket entry. So there's 3 entries for every one of our questions tonight.
Yep.
Yep. Let's see. Should I go first? Who's going to go first here?
You can go first.
All right. So last issue had to do with this whole time travel plot. And my question is, who was the mutant who assisted Kitty Pryde in traveling in time? Who helped Kitty Pryde achieve her goal of traveling her consciousness back in time? Promiscuous joining us. Kyle, it's nice to see you, my friend. He says, completely unrelated, just picked up the Philadelphia trade. Yeah, you did, because it's good reading. Do it.
Nice.
You did not, Chet. You did not. Holy Chet. Chet Scotland.
Unbelievable.
Chet Scotland. I'm going to leave Kyle up a little longer because bless you, Kyle. There are 2 trades out. I want to say maybe even 3 trades out of Philadelphia worth your time. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's.
And then your second answer is just.
Is he talking about?
And then
talking about Scott.
Your third answer is just. yet to get an answer is what I'm gonna say.
Is he going for the funny answer? Is that what he's going for?
Jason gets the first correct answer. So Claiming Comics gets the point there. And
on the board.
What do you know? Climbing Comics, Alan, you are second place.
My boys right there, claiming and climbing.
What?
I can't.
I don't. Even Magic Lasso had time to type this, and I'm just gonna say, Read Your Comics is a great name. I agree. You should follow him over on Instagram. There's a period in between each word, so make sure you type it correctly when you're looking for him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Doctor Who. There's a great answer. I mean, helps a lot of people travel in time. Although I will say Rachel Dinners is a funny answer.
Rachel Dinners sounds like somebody Doctor Who would travel with.
Right. I don't know that this person is anybody that might help you travel in time.
Got to earn it.
Lefty Blues with another answer, 62.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted. I mean, these are great options. We're looking for a good comedy answer here while Justin's going to lay on you the second question.
All right. So let's see. The one I got here, I'm going to start with is, what was the team's reaction after they saw Sprite complete her first training successfully in the danger room? What was the team's reaction? Their initial reaction. Should get some good ones for that.
So I really feel like you've only got two choices on that first one, Darrell. You're either going to go with 62 Lefty Blues and his two answers, or Chet's inability to type as being the
I'm going to have to go with Rachel Dinners on that.
I think it's fair. Honestly, the fact that he gets the comedy answer on that one, I think it's the perfect response.
That's great. Fantastic.
So that is well played. Well played there, Darrell. Okay, so how does the team respond? We got a lot of answers here. We got laughter question mark.
Laugh. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yawn, spaced out. Well, Wolverine had a beer. It's usually a fair answer. Abject horror. Also an option. Chet with actually spelling laughter correctly. Very happy.
Gonna have to give that one to Chet there, being the first.
There you go.
He's spot on with the spelling and everything. So
and he's not asking a question, he's making a statement. I don't know how we feel about Jason's response here.
I thought about that.
Are we giving it to Jason?
Yeah, we're giving it to Jason.
We'll give you claiming. We'll give you.
If it was Chet, then we definitely.
Wow, you can type Doc from Back to the Future. I mean, that's fair enough. Yeah. Laughing at Professor X. Nobody laughed at Xavier. I think they were kind of laughing at Sprite a little bit. Kang the Concubine. I don't know that in any way answers the question that Justin asked, but it's a phenomenal turn. Professor Xavier is a jerk, they said in unison, and they were correct. By completing the ritualistic sacrificial ceremony. I mean, fair. TJ with a little more tame. They got Chinese takeout, which I had stir fry tonight. That's a good choice there. Did you have a favorite, Darrell, in that crew there?
I think they completed the ritualistic sacrificial.
I think he went a long way for that joke, but I kind of feel like Kyle earned it, right?
It paid off for him.
Kyle, you now have an entry. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
By the way, Kyle's going to be on Origins this Saturday, so should be an entertaining show, right?
I honestly think Kyle's one of the most undervalued, underappreciated people in our community. So I'm excited to see you give him a little shout out. And Kyle, you now have an entry into our X-Men giveaway. One raffle ticket is floating around in there just for you, my man.
Nice. And
it's time for me to ask my second question, which was in the previous issue. Not this one that we just talked about, because we know everybody died in this previous issue. This one right here. The one before this, 141, which character died at the hands of the Sentinels? In this 2013 horrible future, which character was killed by the Sentinels in issue 141? All right.
Very shocking scene for sure. Wasn't quite ready for it.
We're never ready, right?
No, true. It's very true. Whoop, whoop, unless you're Destiny, it's the only time you're ready.
Even then, she's like, "There's a blank spot in that."
Here's my second.
I think I fire an arrow. I don't know what it hits because I'm blind. I mean, It's just a first name, is all I'm going to say. I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't know how you feel. I know that Lasso got it. So Lasso's getting it. Whether he's first or second is we're going to leave that to Justin.
You're going to leave that to me.
We'll give it to
you.
We'll give it to you, Chat. We're just messing with you.
Yeah, Chat, don't say we never did anything.
I know you're frustrated with me hating on Angel, but like,
yeah.
Angel, he finally stepped up. I think that's a great answer. John with a great answer. Abby something. It's Abby something.
Abby normal. Yeah.
It's Colonel Mustard in the conservatory with the candlestick. I like the alliteration there. Kyle. You and I share a joy for alliteration. Franklin Richards is what? I don't know. That's an apostrophe S there, so he clearly has something. I'm too mutant familiar for last names. There you go. I didn't know if you were saying that Franklin Richard has something.
He has something. Yeah.
I don't know.
Find out next time.
I'm a big fan of punctuation. Big fan. All right, Darrell, any of those tickle your fancy at all?
I'm going to give a shout out to the Clue reference, but the winner is definitely Angel finally stepping up.
I mean, John Stout playing the big game there. And does John have any ticket entries yet?
Ooh,
No, John.
Okay. Mr. Stout.
Mr. Stout, you have earned your first entry. Although old Oxbow the Clown, TJ, that's a reference. John Stout. There you go, my man. Getting that raffle ticket entry. John, typo. Sorry. You're on my channel. You're in my chat. This is what you get.
Yeah.
All right, we got one last question from the big man here.
All right, last one here is what was the reason Kate Pride said that she was late, or why was Kate Pride late when checking into the Sentinel? What did she say to the Sentinel that as to why she was late when she was checking into the camp?
In 2013, she had to walk by the Sentinel, and it asked her, "You are mutant, whatever. You are late. Like, where have you been?" And she had to give an excuse, right?
Yep.
Tricky. Could be a lot of funny answers right there.
I'm throwing up a layup. It is a layup for sure.
Right.
We're here to be entertained.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
A spelling mistake and a correct response within seconds. Holy cow.
My man's on top of his
Roger
game.
IS is. But Roger is a troublemaker. It doesn't matter. Way late.
Way late.
Way late. Because we got Alan. I'm going to flip back to the front page. I don't even need the second page. Alan.
Roger IS.
Miami Comics and Magic Lasso crushing it.
Yeah.
Woo! There it is. Went to a supreme. He even had third answer.
Yeah,
got one correct answer in. Man,
Ryan's
we are really attacked by Rogue. Watching Colossus do naked deadlifts. That's a callback to last week's show.
Yes,
and I'm very proud of it. It's not the phone. It's not the phone. She left her Vax card at home. I mean, yikes. I'm getting a new phone next week, you bum. Oh, Roger Lewis and Rachel Dinners.
Rachel Dinners.
Oh my god,
that's great.
So good. I'm loving it. You guys are the best chat. I'll tell you. It's been just a pleasure hanging with you guys. Attacked by Anna Marie LeBeau. That's a deep cut there.
Yeah.
All right, Darrell. Anything that's particularly giving you a good laugh here?
Nobody was going for the gusto. There were some easy answers for there. You could have like taken a dump. You know,
right? Why was she late? Why was she's getting a new phone. She was getting a new phone, you bums. There it is.
She was getting a new phone. Right. Let's go with the Supremes concert.
All right. Magic Lasso pulling a double hit there. Well played, Ryan. Well played. We have kept way longer than normal. Poor Darrell suffering through an hour and 38 minutes of this. You guys gotta go on Instagram, check out his Instagram page, give him a follow. Next week, issue 143. We're over on the KnowGood Comics channel. Yep. Justin has Promiscuous Time Traveler on his channel Saturday now. I'm just learning.
That's right.
Thursday night, you also got something going on. Do you want to let people know what's going on Thursday?
Yeah, so Darrell and I are actually going to be breaking down a few of the Daredevil Frank Miller, the early works of Frank Miller on Daredevil. And it is a run that I've never read. This is my first time kind of experiencing this. Darrell and I have been kind of going back and forth about it. And so we decided to do a buddy read on this stuff. A few other friends from the community has joined along with us as well. But Darrell and I will be live on my channel this Thursday, 10 o'clock. We're going to break down issues 158 to 161. So kind of, we'll talk about a lot. Yeah. So 4 issues. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And, not sure how regular of a show it's going to be, but just something we're going to do from time to time and, talk about some of our favorite issues and, some of the fun stuff. So yeah, that's cool, Chet. I'm glad to hear that too. Always heard great things.
Totally.
Buddy on buddy read. That's right.
What's up, Matt from Comics 89? Good to see you, Mr.
Hey.
Comic. And Air Spider jumping in here. What's going on?
Nice. And because this is X-Men related, tomorrow night we're going to be live on my channel. I'm going to be live with Alan and Jason, who are both in the chat, along with Haley, Shy Comic Girl, and also our special guest Candace. She's going to be joining us too because we're breaking down X-Men, the original movie that came out in 2000. So that should be a lot of fun as well, as they have been every time. So.
I had a blast in your chat last time, so I'm looking forward to being a troll again this time around.
Please do, please. Yeah, all the Topher Grace, good old Topher Grace. Man. That was great.
Topher Grace, yeah, the perfect villain to destroy the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah.
Darrell, do you have anything else coming up that you want to let people know about? Any books on the rise? Anything coming for your collection you want to let people know about?
No, not particularly. If you do like my page on Instagram, don't forget I have a spin-off account called Spider-Man.newsstrips that I post the daily news strips from the Spider-Man news strips.
Man, I remember reading those in the newspaper when I was a kid, man.
That's a fun one to follow. I just do that one for fun. I don't do follow backs on that one. It's too much for me to manage. But, I don't want to mix it in with my main account, so it's like a spin-off account. But definitely follow it if you want a little daily Spider-Man read.
Totally. Nice. As for me, I don't think I have anything else this week. Sorry for people that missed us on Saturday. We've had a few COVID exposure warnings around the house here. Girls that were like, sorry, sweetie, you have to wear a mask and space a little bit because you were hanging out with a friend and now they're positive. Thankfully, seems like everybody is, knock on wood, totally good around here. So nobody ended up getting a positive test.
That's good.
So hopefully, if we survive another week together in school, very exciting week, we will be back on Saturday morning for our usual shenanigans. That's our plan and that's our hope.
Nice.
Thanks again huge thanks to Darrell for joining us for this iconic issue.
Yeah.
And
thanks for having me.
And please make sure you're over on Justin's channel next week because we're back again for 143 and our typical good times.
To answer Architect's question, it's going to be on my channel tomorrow at 10.
And the link is down below.
Yeah. And Promiscuous Times, Charles says he's still backstage for my 1K.
You'll get there. You'll get there, buddy.
This Saturday, that's all it's going to be this Saturday is me, and he'll be backstage somewhere.
There you go. Waiting his turn.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. We'll see you back again next week. And until then, peace.